Nature Breakthroughs with Dr. Wild Ben Goldman. Conversations with changemakers in a world gone mad. To discover what you need for personal, organizational, and societal change, get your free download of 3 ancient rituals smart entrepreneurs use to bounce back from shifts in the market and inside themselves. Go to www.naturebreakthroughs.com.
Yes, you pull them till they bite down. On the lies that you built from my doubt. I don't want money, I don't want cars, I just want to be free.
So welcome, Terri, Levine, to Nature Breakthroughs, Conversations with Changemakers in a World Gone Mad. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, Ben.
So tell me, what's the biggest change in your life?
The change for me, really, work is exactly the same other than the fact I had to cancel 9 international speaking gigs. So, that's one change. But the really big change for me is I'm a hugger. I love to give hugs and I love to receive hugs. And so that's something I feel every day, like I'm really missing that kind of personal contact. Other than that, life is pretty much the same.
So the biggest change in your life is the lack of hugging during the pandemic?
Yep, because my business had been virtual for 26 years, that really didn't change. I live in 3 different locations. I've traveled between the 3 different locations. Still working with my clients in the same way that I've always worked with my client family members. So no, the only thing that really changed for me is the human contact, and other than my speaking gigs being canceled, worldwide, which is not such a big deal in the scheme of my life.
Well, I guess where I was going was, this podcast is all about change. So I know you're a change maker, and, so there, what I'm thinking in your history, there must have been some change that happened to you that motivates you, or that maybe, is a big aspect of why you do what you do.
Happy to share that. I can tell you that in 1996, my mom passed away of emphysema, and my mom was my very best friend. And 7 days later, my girlfriend Marnie died of breast cancer. And I didn't get to see Marnie when she was on hospice because I was at the hospital day and night at my mom's bedside sleeping there. However, I spoke to Marnie 2 days before she transitioned, and she said to me, "Terri, don't make your life about work. Live your life." And I will tell you that those words had a profound impact on me, Ben, and my mom's passing and her passing. At the time, I was president of a national healthcare company. While I was making a big difference for the company and making a lot of money and stock options and bonuses, I really didn't feel like I was making a big difference for humanity. I had already owned 7 multi-million-dollar businesses. I don't know that any of them helped humanity. And that was my wake-up call. So soon after that, I quit corporate America. I started my business consulting company with one goal in mind, which was to make a difference for every small business owner, to help them to achieve not only financial success, freedom at the same time. You need to have freedom, financial freedom. And that became really important to me, became my passion, and I began to live my life in a much more conscious way. So that was the big change.
Cool. So you're the founder of Heartrepreneur?
I am.
What is that?
I love when people ask that. So my company was named when I started business consulting, and I've been in business a long time. And I was meeting with my publisher, I don't know, maybe 8-10 years ago, and I was writing a book for him, and I went over to New York from Philadelphia, where I am now, and we sat down, we were going through the book, and all of a sudden he throws the manuscript on the floor. I already got my advance. I'm like, what is going on? He said, "I want this book." I'm like, what? He said, "Terri, I've known you for 11 years. I want a book on Heartrepreneur." And I go, what is Heartrepreneur? He goes, "It's how you do business. I've watched you for 11 years. You don't do marketing, you don't do selling, you don't do advertising, and yet you have more qualified prospects than anyone I know. I want that book." So I went home on the train and I was thinking about it and like, I don't understand. I don't even know what this means. And then I had this, like, I could have had a V8 moment where I'm like, oh, I get it. It's because I do business from the heart. I don't do transactions. And so I renamed my company literally in an instant. We branded Heartrepreneur, we trademarked it. And Heartrepreneur is learning to do business heart to heart, based on making a difference for the people you serve, the people I serve, and my client family members. Not doing transactions, no more marketing, no more selling, no more advertising. And it is a methodology of helping people in using transparency, authenticity, and integrity as the only thing that you do.
So everything you say to me is always so incredible in terms of, I know things that I've read about you, that you've helped 6,000 business owners and you've written over 40 books and you've had over $8 multi-million, you've created $8 multi-million companies and stuff. How is this possible? How is all that possible in one life, one person?
I'm very, there's two things. I'm very conscious of what I do. I take actions that lead me towards whatever it is that I'm seeking. I'm not afraid to invest in coaches, consultants, strategists, advisors, and mentors. I have 8 right now. I've spent over almost $2 million on coaches, advisors, mentors, courses since I'm 15 years old. So I'm conscious about where I'm going. I'm focused. I'm not all over the place. Most people are all over social media, and then they're creating content, and then they're blogging, and nothing gets results because they're scattered. Even their messages are scattered. I know where I'm going. I focus on one thing at a time, one focus, one goal, no shiny object syndrome. And I work to get there, and I have people lift me up, support me, help me, and advise me. And I really will share with the audience, I'm not that smart. I'm being honest. I was a C student. It was not easy for me to get through school. You don't have to be really smart to imitate what I've done. I have client family members that I've taken to 6, 7, and even 8 figures. Some are doing much better than me because they want to work more, which is great. I literally just say, know where you're going, then get the help and support to take you there, and keep your focus on that one goal, and then you'll get there. And I really believe that's how to live life consciously.
So what's your one goal now that you're focused on?
Well, I think you know this. I am working on a book and doing something I've never done, crowdfunding a book. And so I have that book launch going on. I think it's got 6 more days, and I think we need to sell, I don't know if it's 40 or 60 more books. And so that is my entire focus. That's all I'm doing right now, is just focused on achieving that number within, I think it's the next 6 days, and then we'll move on to the next step.
It's called the conversion equation, how to generate all the leads you can handle. So a couple things. One is, I noticed, like we talked last week, and between last week and this week, you've almost hit the 500 pre-order mark. How did you do that, first of all?
Well, let me speak to a couple things.
I added a couple, I know that.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. The first thing I can tell you is whenever I've had a goal in my life, and this has been my whole life, I've achieved it. When I wanted to get into the college of my choice and I knew I didn't have the grades, I did some things that were really outside the box to get in. So I'm always very certain that if I really want something, my expression is find a way or make a way. And so I did. I reached out to people that I knew, people that I thought that would like the book because it will help them grow their business. I asked them to share the book. And then in my group on Facebook, My Heartrepreneurs with Terri Levine, I made some pretty amazing offers for people only getting 5 books, and people just got really excited about those offers. And many of the people said, Terri, just even keep the books and give them to people of high value. So I think we're 40 books shy of the goal. I think we have 6 more days, and that's just how I feel. I always make everything happen. I find a way or make a way. There's no excuses where I come from.
It's amazing, because I'm doing that crowdfunding too, but I guess I'm kind of the opposite. I'm doing everything you say you shouldn't do. I'm doing 10 different things at once. I got the podcast, this podcast, I got the book, I got program. I'm running in 10 different, I can't give anything my undivided attention. And and it's amazing. So, and well, what was your trick about getting into the college?
So I wanted to go to Ithaca College. At the time, I was doing theater and I wanted to be a drama major at the time. And they take very few people into that program. And my grades were really low compared to most people. So the first thing I did is I applied early admission because I thought I would have a better chance of standing out. The second thing that I did is I wrote a letter and I said, while my grades do not show that I'm an amazing student, I have a great track record as an actress who's now ready to be a student. So if you'll give me the chance to come and audition for you, I'll put my heart and soul into that audition. And then you will see that I'm going to put the same heart and soul into being a student. Shockingly, I got called to do an audition, and I did work my butt off to do an amazing audition. And at the end of the audition, they said, you know, we're still seeing 50 times more students than we could possibly take. And I stopped them and said, so let me ask you, why are you going to take me? I just flipped the question and they went, what? I remember them all looking at each other. I said, well, I'm just asking you a question. Why are you saying yes to me? They chuckled and chuckled. Nobody answered me. I remember walking back out. My parents were in a waiting room outside the audition room. And I said, I'm getting in. And my parents looked at each other like, she's not getting in. And I remember the letter comes in the mail. I get home from high school. And my mother's like, you have a letter from Ithaca College. And I held the letter and I said, I'm going to read it to you. It's my acceptance letter. I could see like trepidation on her face. And I opened it up and it started with, we're pleased to announce. So I just find creative ways if it's something I really want. If it's not something I want, I just give it over to the universe and say, it's not that important. I'm going to focus here and stay in my lane.
That sounds like the theory of chutzpah.
For sure. You got that right.
And I'm curious to go further with that of how you went from psychology to running companies and business development. But before we do that, the subtitle of your book, How to Generate All the Leads You Can Handle, that's everyone's problem. That's my problem. So what's the secret? Or are you going to say, I got to buy the book?
You froze for a moment, so I couldn't hear it. I heard that's my problem, everyone's problem, and then you froze for just a moment.
Your subtitle is How to Generate All the Leads You Can Handle. So what's the secret?
So the secret is that I've worked with small businesses in 19 countries, 6,000 people, and every single one of them that applies what I'm calling the conversion equation, takes a formulaic, systemized, proven marketing approach, and they will have what I have, which is every single day I wake up, people have raised their hands and asked to work with me or my company. Today, so far, we have 9. We don't do any marketing, we don't do any selling, we don't do any advertising. Now, what most people are doing is all wrong. They're doing this spot method. I'll try this, maybe that'll work. Oh, that's not working, I'll try this, It's not what you want to do. Conversion equation is proven and it works every single time, no matter what business. The sad news is professionals don't let on, and so everyone does it wrong. And the conversion equation teaches exactly how to interrupt your ideal target audience, how to engage them, how to then educate them, and finally, how to make a no and low risk offer that they say yes to. It's super easy. You have to do it in sequential fashion, and you have to understand the equation. It's a formula. It's just like science. It's proven. It works every single time. The problem is most people simply don't know it, which is why I was compelled. Literally, during the pandemic, I was compelled. We had 600 prospects in less than 33 days. I said, oh my gosh, I can't help 600 people directly. What can I do? And that's when I decided to write the book so everyone for $20 could have access to exactly what the equation is.
Did you start by saying you interrupt them?
Yes, you must interrupt people. See, now I'll get some psychology in here. Human beings, our brains, are in downtime. They're scrolling, you're not really paying attention. You're watching TV, you're not really paying attention. You drive home from somewhere and you go, were there red lights? I don't even remember. We're in downtime. That's how our brains function. And with over 11,000 marketing messages a day coming at us, we don't pay attention to marketing. So that's why people doing Facebook ads and all of this, they're wasting their time, money, and energy. Don't do it. Instead, you want to have a message that interrupts and only interrupts your ideal target audience. If my target audience are people who want to lose 20 pounds in 30 days, and that's not you, you move on. But if I talk directly to you and say 20 pounds in 30 days, that is what Martin just did. Listen how. You'll stop and your brain will go from downtime into uptime, and you'll start to pay attention. Almost no one knows how to interrupt. I look at social media all day and I laugh my little butt off because no one's interrupting and they're wasting their time, energy, and money posting.
Wow. That's amazing. I want to keep drilling, but I know you want people to get the book. So.
I do. I really do. The money, first of all, does go to a foundation, the Terri Levine Foundation for Children with RSD. So it is a tax write-off. And you can give the book away to your community. You can sell the book. You can do whatever you want with the book, but make sure you get at least one copy for yourself. Not only do I want you to apply what's in it, in the book, what I did was every chapter I filled with different kinds of businesses, real case studies. So as you're reading the book, you can go, oh my gosh, that business is like me. Let me do what they did. Oh, that business, Terri gave an exact letter that she wrote for that business. I'll modify it for my business. So it's like I'm consulting with you and taking you by the hand, taking you under my wing and helping you.
Wow. So I've also read somewhere that you said that the first thing you do, maybe before you interrupt, is you need the right inner mindset. Is that true?
I just got off of a very interesting podcast on mindset, and you need to actually believe in yourself. So if you cannot provide people with a result that you're willing to stand behind, your product or service, you can't guarantee it. You're like, well, I think it's okay. Then you're just a fake expert. So please go sell something else. If you have full confidence that what you're providing makes a difference for people, then there's no issue putting yourself out there. And then your mindset is, I'm helping people. Just as an example, if you come to my home and you've had a long trip, I'll say, hey, Ben, would you like something to drink? Now, I'm just putting out an offer. I don't try and overcome the objection. Really? I made lemonade. It's really delicious. You should have some. That's my Jewish grandmother's job, right? I don't do that. So instead, you make an offer knowing that you have value. I would love to help you implement conversion equation. Would you like my help? Very simple. If they say no, I don't overcome any objection, fine. That's a way to put yourself out there, and you can change that mindset instantaneously by only selling products and services that make a huge difference to people. And please don't sell inexpensive Band-Aids that don't make a difference.
Well, how do you know what's going to make a difference? What if you're most entrepreneurs are just starting.
The other thing people do, they go, oh, I want to sell this widget. This is amazing. I just came up with this course and it's called The Attractor or something. And oh, everyone's going to want it. No, I go and I ask my audience, if I could give you one result, only one result, what are you looking for? And just as an example, about 3 years ago, I was going to do a course teaching people how to get high ticket programs, how to put them together. I went to my audience. I said, if I could give you one result, only one result, what do you want? And they said something so strange. I had about 400 responses and something like 12% of them made this comment, get hot, H-O-T, hot paying clients. I'm like, what's a hot paying client? I would have called it a high paying client. I took their words. I got the domain, get hot paying clients. I ran a course for $1,500 called Get Hot Paying Clients. 300 people instantaneously bought that. Why? I found out what they wanted. I could deliver the result, and I guaranteed it. That's very important. It's in the book. I just tipped my hand here.
Well, the kind of definition of being an entrepreneur is you're starting something new. And so it's hard to know exactly whether what you're doing is going to it's hard to be confident if you're in that kind of hypothesis exploring phase of a startup, trying to figure out whether what you're doing will make a big difference. Even though you might believe in it, or you might know it's done something for you, you might not really know everything. Like in my case, I do work that's kind of deeply spiritual, let's say, and it's not always clear to me whether who it will help and how it will help them. Um, Although I know that it helped me, although actually I don't even know really exactly how it helped me, although I've spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. But there's a lot of kind of mystery in it. So I always have like a issue, not an issue. Yeah, I guess an issue. Well, I have trouble with the idea of like having complete confidence in an outcome, even identifying the outcome.
All right. The first thing is, if any business owner doesn't have confidence in what the outcome is, number one, and isn't totally clear. Like I'll say to people who come to me and they say, I want to start blah, blah, blah business. I'll say, don't percent clear, and you can language what it is you do and the result in one sentence called a core unique positioning statement. I will tell you, do not go into business, because trust me, you probably won't get to six figures. And if you do, you won't consistently be there. Because if you're not clear in your message, I'm talking to any entrepreneur, your audience has no idea what you're saying, none. And especially if we do something a little more esoteric. I work with a lot of healers, spiritual advisors, spiritual counselors, that when they first came to me, I'm like, no one is going to buy what you're talking about. No one's going to understand what you're talking about. No one's going to buy what you're talking about. So the first thing you have to do is give me an actual result that people will get. And until you do, I want you off of social media. I don't want you blogging. I don't want you networking, because you know you're chasing people away. So the first step, and it is taught in conversion equation, is to create a core unique positioning statement that you can confidently stand behind, that expresses exactly the result to your target audience. And if you don't know what result you deliver, you can't start a business. It would be like having a restaurant and going, I have no idea what I'm serving, or having a store and saying, can't put any inventory here because I really don't know what I'm doing. Please, entrepreneurs, listen to me. You have to have a proven solution for a target market that you already have an affinity with. If you don't know people and don't have a lot of those people, you're in the wrong market, and it will take forever to build a business, and most likely you won't get to six figures. Sorry, I'm very honest.
So what your company's called Heartrepreneur. So are most of your is most of your audience some kind of heart-based businesses, or what does that mean?
Everything we do is for service businesses. We work with people who are making a difference in the world. They don't do transactions. Their product or service truly helps them. So by us helping them grow their business to the next level, whether it's 100,000, whether it's 1 million, or in some cases, we've done way more than that, 7 and 8 million. What the importance for us is that their product or service makes a difference in the world. So as we help them grow, their products and services are helping others. So Heartrepreneur, transparency, integrity, authenticity, no more selling, no more advertising, and really use conversion equation. It makes all the difference.
And I see you've have some kind of a guarantee that's like incredible, that you'll like double their money or
yep.
or.
So we give our business owners a 200% return on investment. It's guaranteed, as long as they obviously do the things we say. If we fail, and we haven't with 6,000 people, but if we do, we give you all your money back, plus I will personally write you a check for $5,000. I stand behind what we do because it's a proven formula. It works every single time.
You say you've done this for 6,000 people. You've never had to give the money back?
Never. I had one person, just being very transparent, about 4 years ago, who said, well, I think I should get my money back because I didn't get results. I said, you didn't come to any of the classes. You didn't do the webinars. You didn't upload homework. You never did anything. And she said, oh, yeah. And I'm like, you have to do the work. And she said, well, I'm done with the program. I said, I'm going to put you in for another year, no charge, if you show up and do the work. And she did. And the next year, I think she went to a little over 300,000, and she was not even doing 50,000. So putting in the work makes a big difference.
That's amazing. And do you have some giant staff, or how do you work with 6,000 people?
So all of my work is group work. I've been doing group work for over 26 years. I know how to get results in groups. I actually don't recommend individual work. I really don't. Individual work doesn't give you synergy, synchronicity. It doesn't move you as fast. I worked with thousands of clients individually my first 2 years. They were making slow progress. My third year, I started groups, and I could not believe the difference. So I work with people in groups. I have a team of other high-level consultants that are my protégés that are trained in my systems and processes, and the guarantee holds in everything we do.
It's amazing. I also saw somewhere that you once co-authored something with Stephen Covey. Is that right? The author
Yeah,
of Seven Habits.
I co-authored a book with Ken Blanchard and Stephen Covey, Blueprint for Success. And it was such a great thing to get to work with Stephen Covey. And, you know, the biggest thing I've always had from him that he taught me is start with the end in mind. And that has helped me. I say it all. Where am I going? Let me make sure I know where I'm going. So, yeah, I was honored to write books with them.
So how would you describe the change that you're trying to accomplish with all this work and working with all these entrepreneurs?
I want to make a difference to people's financial success, not just in their business, but literally in like the wealth they want to create for themselves, families, legacy that they want to have. And I want them to stop marketing and advertising. I want to teach people that this posting on social media is ridiculous. Broadcasting and creating all of these courses and online things, you're wasting your time. I can get all that stuff online for free. So I'm not going to invest in your course. No offense. I used to have 3,000 courses. So believe me, I understand course creation. Now I just give my content away, and I have more prospects than I could possibly handle. And I make about 10 times as much money as selling some $900 or $97 product to masses of people. I am really here to disrupt how people are doing business today, because it is not the way that you need to do business. Business needs to be relational, not transactional. And if you're not succeeding, you're probably transactional.
So part of this I can't quite compute. You have to reach out to people, right? So how do you reach out to people if you're not doing it through social media? Or are you?
Reach out to them. I pick up the phone and I call people. And I know that may be old fashioned, but let me tell you, if you talk to 5 people a day, just like my client Jack will tell you, told him this 4 weeks ago. He said, "Are you out of your mind?" I said, "Just do it." And he did it. And he got $4,000 or $5,000 clients in 7 days, versus he was spending thousands on Facebook ads and not even getting clicks, which didn't surprise me at all because it's a terrible platform to advertise on. Pick up the phone and don't call people and say, "Hire me." So giving you an example, a real example, yesterday, I picked up the phone. I'm an avid reader. I read a book. It was very valuable. I looked at the back of the book, found the author's website, found they had a phone number. I called. First time I got, a voicemail, and I left a message. I said, "I just want to tell you, I'm an avid reader. I read your book. I love it. Here's the 3 key points I really got. I'd love to explore with you how to even do marketing in a different way and add another layer to what you're talking about." I gave value. I wasn't looking for anything.
This was all on a phone message?
No, the person called me back.
Oh,
and at the end of the conversation, he said to me, "Is there something I can do for you? Because you just picked up the phone and gave me like a massive amount of value." And I said, "I don't know. Do you know anybody who might be interested in this particular book that I have going right now?" He went and bought 20 copies of the book. 5 minutes later, he joined my Facebook group, and today he sent me an email and said, "I have a referral for you." Now, I wasn't marketing at him. I wasn't attached to any outcome, and I certainly wasn't looking for anything. People can tell if you're playing that game. When you send out emails and you're really hoping someone's going to buy from you, they can tell. When you do something because you're looking for something reciprocal, people can tell. Just do it for the sake of doing it. Have 5 real conversations a day. Get off of social media. You're not going to make money spending time on social media, believe me.
I know that when this is maybe, this won't make me look good, but I know I hate doing that. I hate phoning. First of all, I hate phoning people. And I don't really like to be phoned. Can you help people like me?
Yeah, so the first thing I say is that's a belief that you can choose to keep or choose to change. So the words that I would start to use is, up until now, I didn't enjoy phoning people. That ends it. Up until now tells your brain, okay, that's in the past. get some joy out of talking to people and making a difference. I don't call people to sell. I say to myself, oh, who are 5 people that I can make a difference for today? And I randomly pick 5 people. Yesterday, it was my great niece who just turned 7. And I randomly said, oh, Zoe's in my head. How can I make a difference for Zoe? I love picking up the phone and having a heart-to-heart conversation and sharing love. And that's all I do. I picked up the phone. I saw somebody on Instagram with just some of the best content I've ever seen. Found her website, picked up the phone. I also called her. Not only did she call me back, she's like, here, I'm going to send you a link. Let's get on Zoom. Let's see each other. We had this amazing conversation. She's a brand creator for Instagram. I didn't even know that. And she wants to do something with my brand for me. I didn't even know where the conversation would go. So get over whoever, Ben and everyone else, telling yourself, I hate the phone. You really can't be in business as an entrepreneur and not be willing to have conversation. Facebook posts, blog posts, crap all over the internet is not going to make you money. Heart-to-heart relationships is why people buy from you. You want to know why I've created 8 multi-million-dollar businesses? I'll give you the simple answer. I'm not all that smart. I believe in people, I trust people, I like people, and I like to speak to people, period.
So what kind of businesses are they that you've been creating?
So the very first business I started was a speech language pathology business. That was my original degree. I had that business, sold it for $1 million, started a second business, which was an art consulting business. My husband joined me in that. We sold that for $12 million. My third business was a startup rehabilitation company, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech language pathology, contracted to nursing homes and hospitals. I had 2 business partners. In 6 months, we took it from 0 to 88 million, which was through the roof crazy. Don't ask me to reproduce that. We were in the right place at the right time. I could go on and on. So there have been all different kinds of businesses, very diverse. And as I said, I've worked with 444 different kinds of industries. Conversion equation works in every business. Doesn't matter what you do.
I used to be in the art business.
Oh, wow.
I ran New Jersey's oldest contemporary art center.
Oh, cool.
So I know how tough that is. How did you, and I know how hard it is to make money in that business. It's probably the hardest business to make money in that there is, at least that's been my experience.
So I came up with a model that, sounded a little crazy in 1982. I grew up very, very, very poor. And all of a sudden, my father got a new job and we moved. And we moved into a very wealthy community where I felt very uncomfortable. And I was going to a friend's house and somebody answered the door in a uniform. Ends up it was a butler. I'd never seen that other than on TV. Who said, just a minute, wait in the library. Well, I'd never seen a library in somebody's house, that's for sure. And I stood in the library. There was art on all the walls and art lights. I can remember standing in the room, I didn't move. I was so intimidated. So when I sold my speech pathology clinic, I said to my husband, I'm in my early 20s, now what? He said, what's in your heart? And I realized somehow I wanted to take the intimidation away from middle class that didn't grow up with art. I wanted the middle class to have art. So I developed a model of doing home art shows with original oil paintings. I bought the oil paintings from artists all over the world. I bought the art lights and the frames in Mexico. And I would bring about 80 original oil paintings into someone's home. They would have maybe 8 couples over. I would explain art, the artists, how to hang, how to frame, how to decorate. And all of a sudden, I had over 2,000 art consultants in the United States, and we had a business that was worth $12 million. So it's a hell of a lot of fun. Great journey.
That's an amazing story. Well, you have so much good news. I'm thinking of what to ask. I guess I could ask a final question, which is, what's the change that you want to see most in the world right now?
That's my favorite question. Man, I would like to see peace. And I mean peace in everyone's hearts. I'm amazed at how people are not getting along. I mean, we're all human beings. We all share the same DNA. We may look different. We may have different heights, different shapes, different colors, different religions, different cultural expectations, different beliefs. You know what? We're all human. And my experience of what has happened in the last few years is that it's very cool to be a hater. It's very cool to speak out against people. It's very cool and not to be aligned. I don't live in that place. I live in a place I choose peace. I choose love. I accept and honor everyone. No one has to honor or accept me. I don't need anyone to accept me. I accept me. However, I accept every single person. I accept their humanity. And right now, I would like to see more of that in this world. I would like to see more people choosing peace, choosing love, choosing kindness, and having compassion, Ben.
That sounds good. Well, how do people find you?
The best way is in my Facebook group, which is Heartrepreneurs with Terri Levine. Super active there, lots of content, free training. And the second thing is get a copy of Conversion Equation now at publishizer.com/conversion-equation. So it's publishizer.com/conversion-equation.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Terri Levine.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're amazing, and that's very inspirational.
Thanks,
I hope I can't wait to read your book and to join Heartrepreneur and see some of the success that you've experienced.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to have you.
All right. Well, have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye for now, Ben. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Nature Breakthroughs podcast with Dr. Wild Ben Goldman to discover what you need for personal, organizational, and societal change. Get your free download of 3 ancient rituals smart entrepreneurs use to bounce back from shifts in the market and inside themselves. Go to www.naturebreakthroughs.com.